諦めない心君とならば頑張れる無駄なことはないよ上を向いて笑おう一度君の時だから稲尾 Avisata Bonatana
Dios!
Usedieron
One year ago, an UFO containing 150 aliens crash-landed off the shores of Kasai. Because no one could fix their ship, the Japanese government decided to bestow upon them the designation Dear S, and making them into Japanese citizens, teaching them the language, customs, and culture of Japan. However, in order for them to become more familiar with human society, a homestay program has been enacted to allow them to mingle with other humans. One misty morning, a truck carrying a capsule that housed one of these aliens ends up dropping it into the riverbank, releasing her from her confinement. She is eventually found by a high school student named Takeya Ikuhara, who saves her from being hit by a truck and takes pity on her despite being extremely distrustful of the race and wanting nothing to do with them.
Number 9.
Timid 16-year-old Rito Yuki has yet to profess his love to Haruna Sairenji, a classmate and object of his infatuation since junior high. Sadly, his situation becomes even more challenging when one night, a mysterious stark-naked girl crash-lands right on top of a bathing Rito. To add to the confusion, Rito discovers that the girl, Lala Satoin Veluk, is the crown princess of an alien empire and has run away from her home. Despite her position as the heiress to the most dominant power in the entire galaxy, Lala is surprisingly more than willing to marry the decidedly average Rito in order to avoid an unwanted political marriage. To Love Ru depicts Rito's daily struggles with the bizarre chaos that begins upon the arrival of Lala.
Number 8.
ここでなさねばならぬことができてしまいました。さあ、子作りを始めましょう。そして我が子が育つ様をそばで見届けます。
One day, a girl who loves me will suddenly appear before me. Middle school teacher Nobunaga has always been dreaming of such a girl game-like situation. However, the one who appeared before him was Kicho, a 14-year-old girl who proclaims herself as his wife. Appears to have arrived from the Sengoku era. She mistakes Nobunaga as Nobunaga Oda and urges him to conceive a child with her. Thus begins the age difference love comedy between a girl game-loving teacher and a Sengoku era expert princess.
Number 7.
好きだ。
私もルシアンのこと大好きです。
After mustering up the courage to propose to a girl in an online game, naive otaku Hideki Rushia Nishimura is devastated when she flat out rejects him. To make matters worse, the girl reveals that she is actually an older man in real life. With his dreams crushed and his heart broken, Roshan comes to an abrupt decision in the midst of his raging fit. He will never trust another girl in an online game again. Years later, Roshan is now in a guild with 3 other players, one of whom possesses a female avatar by the name of Ako. Ako is deeply in love with Roshan and wants to marry him. Although he entertains the possibility that she might be a guy, Roshan accepts her proposal, claiming that her gender doesn't matter as long as she is cute in the game. However, after a discussion between guild members that led to all of them having an offline meeting, Roshan finds out that Ako along with the other members are not just girls but also his schoolmates.
花になりたいのですどんな時もずっと
Number 6.
光だ優しくて温かくて俺の愛してる光なんだ愛してるから光
High school student Takeru Takemoto works part-time as a motorbike courier. During one of his deliveries, he saw a mysterious light passing him and fell into a forest. What he had found was a beautiful girl coming out of a glowing cocoon, calling herself Hikari. While Takeru was quite embarrassed because of Hikari's nudity, a strange monster suddenly showed up and immediately attacked the two. Both Takeru and Hikari demonstrated the power of their other self before Takeru had a clue of what's going on.
Number 5.
Koshi Inosuke is a smart high school student who aims to become a public prosecutor. Unfortunately for a good guy, he was born into a martial arts family whose head only knows one language, violence. When Koshi was still a baby, his father made a pact with his biggest rival to marry Koshi to his opponent-turned-friend's daughter. The union of two bloodlines is supposed to bring forth Earth's strongest martial arts clan. Skip forward. Koshi is in high school, oblivious to the marriage arranged for him at his birth. Enter Momoko Kusuryu, sugar bomb, airhead, lowly martial arts artist, and Koshi self-proclaimed bride. Her wish for sexual intercourse meets with Koshi's square refusal, as he absolutely has no desire to get it on with someone who looks like she could be his little sister. Not to mention that he doesn't have the foggiest idea who she actually is.
花になりたいのですどんな時もずっと
Number 4.
Kaoru Hanabishi, a college student who lives alone, met a beautiful but bewildered girl dressed in a kimono at a train station. He volunteered to guide her way to the dress she was looking for, which happened to be in his neighborhood, but turned out to be an empty lot. Not knowing what to do next, Kaoru invited the devastated girl to his apartment and asked for any additional clues to her destination. She supplied him with a photo of two children whom Kaoru immediately identified as himself and Aoi Sakuraba, his childhood friend. It turned out that the girl in front of him is Aoi Sakuraba herself, his betrothed fiancée who came all the way to Tokyo to marry him. Her revelation was not only surprising, but also reminded the deepest part of Kaoru's memory for why he left Hanabishi family in the first place.
花になりたいのですどんな時もずっと
Number 3.
すず
Ikuto Toho just had a fight with his old man, one that led him to make a rash decision to run away from home. He boards a ship, deciding to take a vacation, but the ship is suddenly hit by a huge storm, one that sends Ikuto overboard. When he regains consciousness, he realizes that he is still alive on some island. An isolated island. An isolated island with nothing but girls. Beautiful girls. Stranded on an island with only girls, no electricity, gas, radio, television, like he was back in the Stone Age.
Number
'Iwaka Tomonori is an average 15-year-old boy who likes older women. He happens to have a crush on his teacher, but soon thereafter learns that she has become engaged. He heads home broken-hearted, only to find a 12-year-old girl named Rizel at his home, who he learns the Japanese government has married him against his will. Furthermore, he learns Rizel is no ordinary girl. She is biochemically engineered human, and her creators promise to waive multiple bills of Iwaki's parents in exchange to be allowed to stay at their house, and thus Iwaki's life with Rizel begins.
Number 1.
これで文句ないでしょ。さっさと帰りますよ。
ダメだ。足りない。
Hayato Izumi is running for Student Council President. He is studious, responsible, down-to-earth, and completely outmatched by his rival, Ui Wakana. Ui wins in a landslide after promising comprehensive sex education, free condoms, and other exciting reforms. Bloodied but not discouraged, Hayato licks his wounds and settles for vice president. Then, Ui moves in with him. As it turns out, their parents made a drunken promise decades ago that their children would one day marry. Ui and Hayato must now balance school life with matrimony, keeping their relationship a secret from the prudish student body, and learning to live with each other. Can they keep the student council in line and find happiness together? Find out in Okusa Seito Kaicho.